What's up, beautiful people? This is your girl, Blue Nola, back in the building with another video. I hope all is well in your world. So, today, we're doing a reading on Ciara, her ex Future, and Russell Wilson. All right? Why am I even doing this reading? Ciara just did an interview, and the interview asked her how was co-parenting, and she couldn't do nothing but laugh. And I felt like in that moment, and I watched it multiple times, she told me everything that I needed to know, right? But we have questions. What does that laugh actually mean? Did that mean she just didn't want to talk about it? Did that actually mean that they have trouble, there's tension? Are they okay? And like, what's going on? So this is why I wanted to do this reading. Obviously, we've seen Future on social media as it relates to his music, mentioning Ciara, mentioning Russell Wilson. He's infusing in his music somehow. So let's go ahead and take a look into this. And again, thank you for coming through. Of course, this is your girl, Chris. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, you can book with me at BlueNolaTarot.com if you would love for me to read for you. All right? So let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, let's play this video where she was asked this question and her response. It made me laugh so much. She has such a, what you want to say, an infectious laugh. It made me laugh. Hold on. Let's go.
Like for you guys. Tim, you're awesome.
She said, "You're awesome," which means move to the next question. So let's go ahead and get into it. Again, I have questions from Instagram. If you're not on my Instagram page, please make sure that you join, because this is where I'm going to be putting all of my questions for my readings, right? Just so we can stay in a close group and it won't go out into, YouTube world until I'm ready to present it. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first question that we're going to ask, the obvious question is, we're not going to start with Russ. We're going to start with Future. How does Future feel about Ciara? I had this question a few times. Does he still have feelings for her? Does he still have love for her? What's the energy around him, right? So let's go ahead and get into that first. So Spirit, this reading is for Ciara Wilson, her husband, Russell Wilson, and her ex-fiancé, and I'm just going to call him Future, right? Rapper. Give me the energy around, how does Future feel about Ciara? Does he still love Ciara in a romantic way? Is he just upset because she's no longer with him? Is he being bitter? What's the energy? I just want to know, how does he see Ciara? What are his feelings towards Ciara, Future? Oh, let's go ahead and get into it. Does he still have feelings for Ciara? Yes, no, maybe so. Wow. Queen of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, King of Cups, Hierophants, Three of Wands. Let's stop right there. All right. Let's stop right there. To answer the question, if you just wanted to give a yes or no response, we're going to start with the King of Cups. King of Cups is obviously, clearly, somebody that still has some semblance of feelings, love, or energy towards the person, right? That's what is starting off with that. That means that person can still, Future, feel some type of emotional connection or something emotional towards Ciara, right? However, it's met with bitterness. He has the Queen of Swords in his energy. And that means it's met with bitterness. And that bitterness is coming from the fact that, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of times when I think about Future and Ciara and all of that, I always think that the problem he has with Ciara sometimes is that she didn't follow the same path that his other baby's mamas follow, right? They were pining after him, waiting on him, taking their turns. Ciara decided to go a different route. This man has a message in here of bitterness. So I can say here in this message, and of course he's reading for entertainment purposes only, he's bitter, right? So this is why he does some of the things he does. So I believe it's two things. Two things can be true at the same time. He still has feelings for her, and because the relationship is no longer what it is, he's bitter. Why is he bitter, you may ask? He feels she's changed, right? She's not the Ciara he dated. She's not the Ciara he knew. He feels that she's changed, right? This is what that Queen of Swords is representing to as well. Are they in a good place? Not always. That Ten of Pentacles could represent tension, trouble, issues, right? Their foundation is unstable as co-parenting people that are co-parenting. Even in their Hierophant energy, that could also be, even though Ciara's laughing, he could also be thinking she be on some shady stuff too, right? Like she be trying to pull a fast one, or she be trying to make it difficult for him. So remember, people have their own perspective about what they think is happening. So Future has his perspective, Ciara has her perspective, Russell has his perspective. So in his mind, he feels that she be on some BS too, right? That means she could be making it difficult for him. That means she could be, he could feel like she put, her husband in front of, it could be a whole bunch of things, guys. But I'm just saying, in that Queen of Swords, that Ten of Pentacles, that Hierophant, and even that Four of Wands on that back end, that to me is trouble. And to me, almost makes me feel like that when it comes to baby Future or little Future, that it's got to the point to where he's kind of pushed back somewhat because of it. And also there's been tension because of it. Tension around planning, tension around communication, tension around direction. This is what this represents. But let's stick to the question. Does he still have feelings for Ciara in a romantic type of way? Whether he believes it or not believes it, but whether he admits it or not, based on his messages, that is a yes. And he is bitter. And he will continue to be bitter until he really finds somebody that he's really connected to and in love with, and he's finally moving forward. Because right now, Future hasn't found that one person that's made him a man in a family where he can take his mind off of this. So it shows in the next 1 to 6 years he'll move away from, and I'm not saying 6 years exactly, but it does show the next 1 to 6 years you may see him move away from it, and they may have a better relationship as it relates to him moving forward. But to answer the initial question, does he still have feelings or love or care for Ciara? That's a yes in his King of Cups energy. All right? Period. When you see these cards, it almost makes you feel like he has feelings for her, but it almost feels like he's bitter. But then it almost feels like he also feels she be giving him problems too. So it's not for him is not just him giving her problems. He feels she's changed and she's giving him problems too. So give me the energy spirit around Ciara. How does she feel about not Russell Wilson? I want to bring Russell in so much. How does she feel about Future? How does she see him? Does she have love for him? Does she secretly still love him? Is it just a co-parenting thing for her? Does she have bitterness towards him at all? She is the Empress for him. Give me the energy towards Ciara. How does she actually feel deep down inside about Future, her ex-fiance? Because I'm going to be honest with you. When I would see her with Future, I felt like she really loved him. Give me the energy. Not that she doesn't love her husband, because you can see there's a real connection there too. But you can see like she really loved Future. Give me the energy. How does she feel about Future now? This is her, as far as her feelings are concerned. 9 of Wands, the High Priestess, the 5 of Wands, the Lover's card, and the Ace of Cups. She's not in the same space with him, right? So, and he's now the Knight of Cups in reverse for her. She doesn't love him at all, right? She doesn't hold love for him in a romantic way. She doesn't see him as somebody, she doesn't sit down and daydream about what they used to have and all of that stuff. Let's just start with the Ace of Cups in the Lover's card. She's in reverse for him. So that means his intentions aren't good. Like, I'm not going to play his games. I don't have, like, her feelings for him. I'm going to be honest. That could be, like, even a person who could feel like, not hate is a strong word, but love-hate relationship. Even in that Lover's card, their Lover's card is in reverse. That Lover's card can represent conflict. That represents, the continued separation, the disharmony, and all of that. Ciara definitely does not hold romantic feelings for Future, like Future has his energy for her. That is amazing, right? Empress, my feelings are empty for him. Everything is a challenge when dealing with him. I have moved on in my future with him. I avoid conflict with him. We will never be a couple. He was never the right fit for me. I had to realize that. And he's the Knight of Cups as well. And dealing with him has been a problem. So it does show in her messages, dealing with him has been a problem. That Knight of Cups represents somebody who could be moody and fickle. Somebody who can, I remember when he used to get Baby Future a lot, he would, be on screen with Baby Future, but what were you doing behind the scenes, right? Because I remember her even making gripes that Baby Future would go with him, but he would be with everybody else except Future, right? And that's what that talks about. So to answer the question without making this video super long, because I've been noticing the videos been getting longer, I don't see where Ciara still has romantic feelings towards Future at all. Her card for trying to grow their relationship is in reverse. Her love card for him is in reverse. And her "You're my everything, you're my future, you're my true heart" card is in reverse. And him being her man is totally in reverse. So she does not feel the same way about Future at all, at all, at all. Period. Right? She's trying to nest with her baby, her new baby that's in that stomach. She's trying to nest with that baby. Okay? She ain't trying to be worrying about him. So that is on that. So I just wanted to kind of see how he felt versus how she feels about it. What is his real issue like with Russell Wilson? Just quickly, Spirit. What's the energy around like Russell Wilson and how he feels about Russell Wilson? Give me the energy. Why doesn't he like Russell Wilson? Why doesn't he like Russell? Future. Russell. Future. Russell. What's his? Does he have an issue? What's the issue? What's the real issue? Page of Cups. Five of Swords. Resentment. Let me say this. He has jealousy over Russell Wilson. That's obviously obvious, right? He has jealousy over Russell Wilson as it relates to his son. All right. And also as it relates to Ciara. It's two things. It's not just his son. It's his son and Ciara, right? But of course, you can't use Ciara because she's married now. So you got to use your son as the catalyst for your disdain. But I feel he has a resentment with the fact that Russell Wilson probably took over, or Ciara allowed Russell Wilson to come in and kind of take over when, Baby Future was small. That Page of Cups is here. So he feels like Ciara almost like kind of moved him out the way. But also, too, in his messages, he wasn't doing all that he needed to do in order to make that work. There's resentment here. Five of Swords energy. So there's a resentment. Also, his Ten of Wands energy, he feels stressed out about everybody talking about it, right? You see how we be on social media, like talking about how Russell's a good man, how he taking care of his son. He reading that, he hearing that. And he even hearing what the fellas saying, like, man, I can't believe that Russell Wilson over here taking over on that man child. He wrong for that. He hearing all of that, right? That also irritates him. But he knows that his son is in a good position with that Ten of Cups. He knows that his son is being raised well and respectful and all of that. In his moon card and his strength card aspects, this could also represent, some energy as it relates to. It almost makes you feel like he feels he's being pushed out, but then also too he doesn't do his part, right? And if I had to be honest with you, it almost made me feel like he don't be trusting Russell Wilson sometime. That's what it makes you feel like he don't be trusting Russell Wilson sometimes. And the reason why I say that is because that moon card is in reverse, right? And when you see that moon card is in reverse, that could also make you feel like, Russell, like Future almost make you feel like, how I want to say it. And one of the guys on the show, The Pivot, said it. Like they get weird vibes from Russell sometimes, especially with Lil Future being on his lap, or they just have weird vibes from Russell Wilson. That's here too, right? Even in the strength card, but that's an insecurity thing. So I think it's him hearing people say stuff. It's hearing guys say stuff. It's hearing the people out in social media world saying stuff. It's people in his life saying stuff. But there is something with that moon card that will make you feel like he feels like Like he just has a weird feeling about, I don't know. I don't want to go there, but that's what it feels like to me. All right. I know one of the guys, and I've never felt it with Baby Future, but when I remember when I used to follow Russell Wilson before he married Ciara, and even when he first got with Ciara, sometimes when I would be seeing him on pictures with children, I would be seeing him hugging them too much, and I'd be like, I don't like that, So I could see why somebody would say that. But now I don't feel that way now. But I remember when I first started following him, like, why, like he it's just me. Put it in the chat if you felt the same way or whatever. But anyway, I just feel like he's jealous of Russell Wilson. He feels like Russell Wilson took over. He feels that Ciara allowed it. He feels like Ciara has changed. He feels that Russell Wilson is also in Ciara's ear interfering, but he knows Ciara is the main one doing it, right? He feels like Russell Wilson, not interfering, but he feels like Russell Wilson is going along with certain things, right? Like Russell Wilson is a simp, basically, right? In that strength card, Russell Wilson doesn't have the backbone. Also, you can look at that moon card too, as Russell Wilson don't have all the facts, right? She's telling him what she wants to tell him, right? And making him look like the bad guy. So that could also be that too, in the moon aspects. Right? But ultimately, does he know Russell Wilson is a good person when it's all said and done? Yes. That's the Ten of Cups in that Sun card represents Russell Wilson being a good dad and a good person and a responsible person and an honest person. And that's what that represents. And let me say this, he's taking good care of your son and there's nothing happening. And he's being a great dad, period, point blank. So I'm just reading this, but again, don't go run with that. All right. Don't go wrong with that. So why does he bring up Russell Wilson and Ciara, when he's launching his music? Is it because he's having problems, or what's the energy around it? Is that his way of communicating his message? Give me the energy. Give me the energy around why is he bringing them up in that music? Future. Why does he bring Ciara and Russell Wilson up? Because he definitely has some issues with them, right? That's his way of communicating. But it also is a money grab too, right? So if I use their name as well, that means for the public, I get to sell some records. I always notice he brings Future up. Future brings Russell Wilson and Ciara up when he's launching music. It could be that he, again, he has in his Five of Swords. That means, I have an issue and there's tension going on with us, And then, of course, he's using it through his music. That Two of Swords is there. So I'm making a choice to put it in my music, right? About what's happening in my life. And this is what it is here. This is his way of sharing that information. But also too, it's also a way to make money, right? So using it for clout, using it for attention, etc., etc., is here and is here in the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a card of promotion, all right? But his first message does come up as tension. So he does show up as tension with the care of his child, and so he uses it in his music. But it also is a way to make money in the Ten of Pentacles aspect. So he's actually using it as well to make money. And he has made plenty of money talking about Ciara and Russell Wilson and what's going on. Has he and Russell Wilson ever really sat down and had a man-to-man talk, cleared the air, like really sat down and really just talked about it, hashed it out, and, give me the energy around Future and Russell Wilson. Have they just sat down and really discussed it? Two of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, the Two of Wands. That feels like a no, guys. Too much tension. So with the Two of Pentacles, that could talk about too much worry about what could happen, explosive. I don't feel like they're ready to do that yet, especially Future. Even his Eight of Pentacles energy, that talks about down the road. An opportunity will be able to present itself. Again, that Two of Wands talks about something coming in the future. An opportunity will come. That means the potential is not fulfilled yet. That Queen of Wands represents is too much. Right now, it's too much insecurity, too much jealousy, too many obstacles, too much resistance. So I'm going to have to say this is met with resistance, right? Actually, I feel like he allows Russell Wilson allows Ciara to manage that situation. Let's pull one more card And that Knight of Pentacles is also reflecting as a no, right? That talks about it's been without, whatever you call it, without results. It just feels like it's a no right now, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and look at the questions on Instagram, and let's see what they have. We talked about why does he dislike Russell Wilson? How does baby Future, and I really don't read on children, but how does baby Future see the dysfunction or the confusion that's going on? Does Ciara, I know she does a good job of trying to shelter him, but does baby Future pay attention to like some of the tension or some of the conflict? Is he aware of some things? Has he been talked to? And that's a yes. So that could mean he's aware of it, and they've had some conversations with him about why things are the way they are. I believe too, Ciara is telling her son, like, we want to have a better relationship, but right now we're trying to work towards that. So, and in Ciara's defense, she looks like she's trying to protect her son, right? That's what it looks like, to make sure he grows up with certain standards, and he grows up in more of a family atmosphere and without a lot of confusion or division. So I do feel he knows that there's some tension, but I do feel she does a good job of shielding and protecting and communicating with him. She's picking wisely the discussion she's having with him, right? That's what it talks about. But but I do feel like, there's been, in their relationship as it relates to their son, some confusion. I remember when I used to see baby Future with Future, sometimes he would even change his whole energy. Like, he would be with Ciara and Russell and be one way, and then you would see him with Future and his children, and he would be trying to put shades on and have money, and like he a rapper, little Future, right? So this is what Ciara's trying to protect him from. She wants him to have the same upbringing his siblings are having, and she wants him to have a stable environment. But does he feel the tension or no other tension? Yes. Will he find out more about the tension as he gets older? Yes. Will he grow up to be a good young man, a fine young man? Yes. Because of Ciara and what she's trying to do. All right. The next one is, how does Russell Wilson feel about Future? Ooh. Two of Pentacles come again. How does Russell Wilson feel about Future, Spirit? Give me the energy around Russell now. What does he think about Future? Ooh. He does not think he's a good person at all. He does not think he's a good person at all, right? First of all, he's so happy he met Ciara, and that he married Ciara. He fell in love with Ciara. When I tell you, their future is actually really, really bright. I mean, the cards are looking so positive for their future. But I would say that he tries to stay balanced and have an understanding. He tries to put God first. But I cannot lie. When you see that Hierophant, that Ten of Pentacles, and that Hangman, that's a huge sacrifice, because he sees the way Future is. Using him in music, that Hierophant talks about being abusive. I can see, Russell Wilson saying, I'm not worried about it. I give it to God. I'm not feeding into it. But that Hierophant can represent this man is using, that's inappropriate, and using him for his gain, right? Even in this Ten of Pentacles, I could see Russell Wilson saying in the beginning, I wanted to really have a conversation with him, but now not so much. I would do it on the strength of the Future, but almost like backing up. That Ten of Pentacles, again, they have no real relationship. And even in a Hangman, I feel like, he doesn't trust Future. He feels like Future's always trying to throw him under the bus and sabotage him and make it seem like there's a motive or something's happening. So that could also be, I don't trust it. But I do feel like Russell gives it to God. I don't feel like the door is closed. I feel like he feels like, there's ever a time where they could come together and have a better relationship. He's open to it. Russell, again, puts God first in this thing, but he definitely shows up seeing Future as a not so good person, right? A person who's, basically being manipulative. But if you listen to his baby mamas, guys, he's also doing that with them, right? You had the other baby mama bringing him to court because trying to increase child support. He's doing something with that child support where he's not paying very much. Then the other baby mama been chasing him down for the child support, and he hasn't ever seen a child. Then the other baby mama was saying something. Future have like about 2 or 3 baby mamas, maybe 4, that's saying something about him. Everybody can be lying on Future, right? Let's keep going on Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's going to continue to take the high road and continue to do what's right as it relates to him, his children, and Ciara. In that Eight of Pentacles, though, again, he feels like he has a motive. I think Russell Wilson is looking at Future like, I know he feels something for my wife, but I feel like he's using us for clout. He's using us for his music. He's using us to Russell Wilson is looking at it more from that point of view, right? I know he's probably still hurt, but he's abusing. There's an abuse of power, or there's something here. Russell Wilson is looking at it like he's trying to capitalize off of them, right? Using his name and stuff like that. So he's looking at it like Future is using him and using the situation to make money. Let's see. Will Future ever stop using? I'm reading the next question. Will Future ever stop using Russell and Ciara for clout? Will he ever stop using them for clout in his music? I've always thought he was using them for clout. I'm not gonna lie. Why would he? Right? It's money making. It brings people to listen. You know, he just said F Russell Wilson. Why would I be interested in Future? I mean, he makes some good music, but a lot of people is listening to his music because he's not a talker, right? So they're listening to his music to see what he's going to be saying. Oh, just feel like he's going to keep doing it. That Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's going to keep doing it. I wouldn't doubt if he continues to put in his music, right? Even in his Eight of Wands energy, that talks about, you'll still hear where he'll be venting through his music, right? Almost like, you know, he gonna be saying what he need to say. Hierophant is coming back for him. This man keep getting the Hierophant, believe that. Again, inappropriate, right? Putting his music. Again, I feel like it's behind Ciara, and I believe that's what I feel like. It's behind Ciara. That's why I was saying I don't take Ciara off the board. I feel like it's behind his son, but a lot of times with men like Future, if he's not dealing with the woman in that way, he got a problem altogether. You know, he's one of those men, right? But of course, he's going to at least still use Ciara, right? In order to garner attention, right? That talks about success. Why wouldn't he, right? That's going to give him some attention and some money. Let's see him make a full album without bringing Ciara Russell into it. All right. Is his ego bruised? Because she left him. What's the energy around that, Future? Is his ego bruised? Because she left him. The Fool card. The Fool card could be somebody who feels like their ego is bruised. Hangman is here. The Three of Pentacles. Yeah, I could see that, right? Because in his Star card, that could feel like that could be some Future could be how you want to see it. Discouraged, insecurity, low self-esteem, ego bruised, all of that. Fool card. Now I'm gonna just be reckless. Now I'm going to just use it for my own gain, right? And I'm going to make money off of it as well. I could see where he really thought Ciara was going to be his future. I'm going to be honest with you. No pun intended. All right, let's make sure we're not going too far with this reading. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Ciara is happy with her husband, her family. You know, it's crazy that this man is still sitting here. You would, like, I always think, like, when people get married, the ex eventually stops. And then you would think she didn't have baby number 2, baby number 3. You would stop, but you still haven't stopped. Now she's on baby from number 4. Will you stop? Like, at some point, will you stop? But no, you're not going to stop because there is real tension, right, as it relates to co-parenting. There looks like there's some energy around, trouble around, again, direction, scheduling, how that all looks. But you would think once a woman got married, the man would stop. And once she had 2 or 3 children, she would stop. Ciara's happy in her life with Russell Wilson. Why does he feel he can do that to Russell Wilson? Why does he feel he can disrespect Russell publicly? Give me the energy around Future. Why does he feel that he can disrespect Russell Wilson? He's his competition. You know, when you see that, he's jealous of Russell. It comes back again. I'm jealous of Russell. I'm manipulating the situation. Again, it comes back as money. But he sees Russell as his competition, right? That's what it talks about here. Also, too, when you see this, he thinks Russell, because Russell is from his background, he's laid back and he's churchy. He think he can do that, right? That's what that talks about. He thinks he's what? A pushover. Russell's a nice guy, family guy. Russell doesn't say a whole lot. Russell keeps a positive attitude. But if Ciara was dealing with a street guy like he was a street guy, they'd probably be tangling up. But with that 7 of Cups, he feels like he can, again, he has that Fool card, reckless. Fool card, 7 of Cups, reckless. A person who thinks they can just say and do anything. A person who's inconsiderate, careless. A person that'll, because again, he doesn't respect Russell Wilson. He thinks Russell Wilson is a simp and laid back, and that he's letting Ciara lead him. Ultimately, Russell Wilson is his competition. Russell Wilson took Ciara, and Russell Wilson never gave her back. Pretty much. All right, but he thinks he can push him over. That's what it looks like to me. What is preventing Future from being a father to his child? I see where he said I see where there's tension and communication and scheduling and direction. What is preventing Future from being a father to his child from his perspective? What is preventing Future from being a father to baby Future, little Future? I'm going to be honest, too. I feel like he be putting his business and what he got going on in front of his child. When you see his 4 of Pentacles, his Ace of Pentacles, and his 2 of Pentacles, that talks about he's putting other things in front of his child. It's just one thing to say you care. It's another thing for you to act like you care. It's one thing to say you're going to do, is another thing to act like you're going to do. Even when it comes to child support, there's something about holding back on even support or having to fight him over support of the child, right? But it feels like he puts other things. The same thing he's doing with those baby mamas trying to hold back support, he does that with baby Future as well. Don't get it twisted at all, right? I just feel like that's just what it is. Even in his Judgment card, that Judgment card could also represent he's clear about his path, what he's doing, right? And I feel like he'd be difficult. Be honest with you. His 2 of Pentacles is in reverse. That talks about the way he communicates or lack thereof. Disorganized energy. Again, I remember when Ciara was saying she was sending him over, he was with everybody but with him. And this is what's right here. He puts other things in front of what he's supposed to be doing, period. Now, in the future, will that change? Again, no pun intended. That Strength card is here. That represents their relationship could get better and things could get tighter. But it feels it's going to be some time from now. Again, he puts his own self and his own pleasures and his own selfish ways above everything else. The Devil card, the Sun card, he's doing him, right? And another thing is him not having a good relationship with Ciara affects his ability to have a relationship with his son. But that's because in that 2 of Swords, that represents they've had problems around communication and direction and clarity before, and it's happened over and over and over again. This also could represent they've made plans, they did this, they've done that, and then it changes and 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 it changes. So I just feel like there's a lot of trouble there. All right. So I think he's putting his own selfish ways and his feelings above anything else, right? When you're not willing to really sit down and mediate and co-parent with Ciara or even Russell, then you're not about the right thing. You're just making trouble. And to me, when people do that, that's a way to get out of doing the right thing. That's a way to get out of taking care of your children. So somebody's asking me a bunch of questions about more children. Somebody's asking me a question about collaborating with Rihanna. That's not up this reading. But I do like this last question she asked. She says there was tension. She says something about Rihanna and Ciara, and that there was tension there. Was Ciara the cause of future Rihanna not releasing the video live? Did Russell Wilson buy Ciara's masters and not? Does Ciara Future still have feelings for Ciara? We already answered that. So I know they had real tension when Ciara brought out when Future and Rihanna did live, but was Future's Future further like collaboration, singing on stage with Rihanna? Was that tension because of Ciara's spirit? Give me the energy around Rihanna. Yep. So now Hierophant represents there was definitely tension around the whole thing with Ciara, Future, and Rihanna. But we already know that, right? And, and also to the King of Pentacles here, which actually continues to represent problems, right? I can also see Ciara being concerned about, like, she didn't want nothing to happen or nothing to go sideways. The intentions weren't right. Really, Ace of Pentacles is bad intentions. Somebody, like her and Rihanna had their own problems, but they had problems even from the whole thing when Ciara did the whole performance with Chris Brown and was straddling him. So they've been having their own problems even before Future came into the picture. So this is what this represents. So I most definitely feel like in your thing that Rihanna and Future having, like, really taking that opportunity and expanding upon it, because that was really a good time and a good song. I think it was definitely cut short by the whole thing with Ciara. Okay. All right. Does he spend time with little Future? Give me the energy around Future. Does he really spend time with baby Future or little Future? Because I really don't see it at all. When I tell you I haven't seen him with Future in a long time. But it could be behind the scenes. Does he spend time with him? And his Eight of Cups is in reverse. So that could represent few, far, and in between. Double card, that could also represent few, far, and in between. Up, down energy. Oof. Tower moment. That could also represent issues, change, the way that they do things, guys. So it looks like it's difficult. So, this is gonna be the end of the road. I don't want to make this reading too long, but I can see here, we talked about why does he dislike Russell? How does Russell feel about it? How does Ciara and Russell, Future feel about each other? Does he still love her? And somebody was asking about his other kids. You could clearly see he's having issues with the other baby mamas too, right? He does have issues. Almost like, I don't know what plan he's on with the child support, but he got it fixed up some kind of way where he's not really paying a whole lot like he should be, right? We talked about him being jealous of Russell Wilson. So give me the energy of jealous of Russell Wilson. How is Future jealous of Russell Wilson? Because you can see that he's in that Five of Swords. That Five of Swords represents his competition. But how is he jealous of Russell Wilson? Give me the energy around Future. Man, it's it. First of all, again, it starts with his connection to Ciara, the Devil card, right? I almost feel like Future kind of upset again that Ciara did not take the same route with his other baby mamas and depend on him and cry behind him and beg him to be in his life. She moved on with her life and met somebody bigger, better, and greater. I think that's also a problem for him, that he feels less than. He's made to feel less than Russell Wilson. That World card in reverse could represent somebody who's made to feel like they're a disappointment or they have less of an achievement, than Russell. Russell, of course, college educated, quarterback. This guy's, got a religious background, and I'm made to feel like I'm just some baby daddy rapper, right? In his Nine of Wands too, that can also be somebody that feels like he's at a crossroads with the whole thing. Again, he's hearing, even though y'all don't see him on, then people be on social media like everybody else. I don't know who playing, but that's what it is. This also can represent he feels like sometimes he's not being treated fairly. That's what that represents as it relates to it. Again, there's something about he feels like Ciara changed once she got with Russell Wilson. Like he feels like if Russell wasn't in the picture, they would probably have a better relationship as it relates to co-parenting. But he needs to know a lot of that is coming from Ciara, not Russell. Ciara has a strong personality when it comes to that. A King of Swords, again, represents his, bitterness. That represents him. And also, too, if he wants to have a better relationship, he has to do better as far as his schedule. The King of Swords represents, the King of Swords represents, his lack of direction, disregard for what's being laid out, his unpredictability. But it can also represent his attitude, right? How he comes across and being difficult. Like, if you want to have a better relationship, have better attitude, have better energy, right? I definitely feel things can change as baby Future gets older. That Page of Cups could represent a young male. It could represent a woman, but it could represent a young male as he gets older. So when, baby Future's maybe a little bit older. I would probably, if I were Ciara, keep my hands on baby Future probably until he was like in college. because by that point he's kind of already done the work as far as growing up. I would let Future get his hands on him until then, because Future does have an influence. I was seeing it on social media when he would go by his house, right? But he definitely shows like people have made to make him feel less than Russell Wilson, and of course comparing, comparing. But he does compare himself to Russell Wilson, right? But I think also too, people haven't made it easy. They haven't made it, what you want to call it? They made it problem too in the social media land. So just to recap, let's make sure we got everything. Again, I'm gonna stand on the fact he wanted her to be just like his baby mamas, depend on him, waiting on him, be a single mom out here. Not building herself up, but she's been able to do that. To me, he comes off like a hater. He comes off as jealous. He comes off as spiteful, and he comes, that's what he comes off as. I definitely feel baby Future be different when he's with him. And I would, if I was Ciara, again, I'm gonna repeat that I would, keep my hands on him until he's much, much older. He thinks he can disrespect Russell Wilson because he thinks Russell Wilson is a simp and a pushover. But if you read the comment section, a lot of guys be doing that too. Like, they always feel like, how she with Russell, she over Future. And baby, have you looked at Russell Wilson? Okay? Child by. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that street stuff and that little rap stuff is nice and all of that. But come on now. Get out of here. She went to this cornball over me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, even with black men and white men, a black man will disrespect a white man because he feel like he a cornball. Same thing with Russell Wilson, right? Let me see. Is there anything else, Spirit, ultimately, that needs to be said? Is Ciara doing the right thing and doing all that she can? Is she making things difficult? Or is she, trying to be a good co-parent? Chariot, 5 of Swords, 9 of Swords, Fool card, High Priestess. Let me say this. I do feel she don't be playing with him, and I do feel like they be tangling up. And that's, again, that Chariot could represent for her. I want my son to be in a safe environment, a controlled environment, positive direction, right? She's going to fight with him. That 5 of Swords keep coming up. They do be tangling up. They be having difficulty and tension over how things are done. She does have concerns, right? This talks about, now, it could also be she makes things worse than it is, too. But, the 9 of Swords is she making things worse than it really is. However, in her Fool card here, I can see her saying to herself, I want my son to know his dad and have a really good relationship. Until we see different, no. That High Priestess, she doesn't trust him. That High Priestess talks about he has an agenda. That High Priestess talks about, he's selfish. And even in that Strength card, again, he with everything and everybody but you. And also, too, again, that could represent some issues around support. Future, if I looked at it this way, I almost feel like Future is not really trying to be the dad that he needs to be. With that Page of Wands, he uses the whole tension thing to make excuses to get around what he's supposed to do. Emperor, undisciplined leader, I always say that. But again, that can talk about somebody who could make trouble instead of making it easier. And even in that Lover's card, he's still in his feelings. And again, that can make trouble and conflict. And that could represent jealousy. That could represent disharmony. That could represent fear, not making the commitments that he needs to make. So I could see both sides of it. I could see why how he could feel like she got with Russell and changed and things are different and all of that. But when I see her, all of these cards, the bottom line is I can see Ciara saying, you're not going to play with me like you play with everybody else. And you're not going to play with my child. And I'm not going to be begging you to do nothing. So if you're going to be doing A, B, C, D, you go right ahead and do it. Right? But this is the end of the road. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I think I've answered every single question. Somebody did send me a DM. Hold on. Let me see. I think I took a screenshot of it. I'm just trying to make sure I answer and touch everybody's questions. Y'all are still sending questions, but I'm about to cut it off and turn the comments off. Hold on. Well, I'll let it stay. Since I put it. Hold on. Let me see what this last person said, and then I'm out of here. Because we're at 30 minutes. Let me see what the last person was saying. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's make sure. Girl, we answered every question I could possibly answer in life. And I think I'm done. So, because she had similar questions. So, good luck to you guys. Take care, stay blessed, encourage, empower. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I'm out of here. Peace and blessings. Bye.